In what ways does your media product use, develop, or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? Question 1. My magazine is a free local magazine targeted at students and was originally based on a free published magazine, Toast, which is found in the centre of Sheffield and is targeted primarily at the student scene, the scene that I would like to target. I have used conventions which I feel Toast follows strongly. This can be seen below. The name of my magazine is Made in Sheffield and is targeted at the music scene in Sheffield. I have encoded a font that implies a steel stamp. This is done deliberately because Sheffield is known for its steel works. I have also used a house colour style, and this is consistent throughout the magazine, just like Toasters use yellow, blue and white. I have used red, black and white, and this could refer to the fact that Sheffield is passionate about its sporting history and the home team is the colours of red and white. However, this was noticed further into making the magazine. The original reason for doing so is because it represents an English indie magazine, specifically with relation to the music, and this is done by the colours. The codes and conventions that are similar between the magazines can be seen in several areas. The masthead is roughly in the same place as Toast magazine at the top of the page. This is done specifically so the brand targets the identity and audience as it is the first thing the reader sees. However, due to the target audience and the name of the magazine, and I wanted to connote the fact that it is Sheffield based, hence the Sheffield being the biggest part of the masthead. This is also so it is appealing to the audience who are reading it. I have also used the same template in regards to the three cover lines seen below, the main feature. I have developed this convention also as I didn't feel that Toast substantially promoted these as important to the magazine. In my case, I made sure that these were bigger and more noticeable on the front of the magazine. The cover lines used were of particular importance as these were what were usually seen secondly by the reader. These needed to be relevant to the magazine, so I have used cover lines such as winning tickets for Tramlines, a local Sheffield-based festival, and gig venues local and popular to Sheffield, mainly amongst the student scene, like the Plug and the Leadmill. I have also accurately anchored the name of my feature artist with reference to Roland Barthes' theory of anchorage by placing the artist's name over the medium close-up. This linked with the direct gaze medium close-up shot allows the audience to understand the image and get drawn in by the direct gaze of my cover artist. The artist I have used has been done specifically so she acts as an ideal self, someone the reader would strive to be like, the perfect person. In this case, a successful, pretty, female solo artist. The font I have used is done to connote the informal peer-to-peer relationship between the reader and the magazine writer, as the sans serif does this appropriately. In my contents page, I have very closely followed the conventions found in Kerrang's contents page because the magazine Kerrang targets the same age range and same type of music, therefore I deemed it appropriate to pastiche and influence my own contents page. This can be seen by the combination of using the same grid lines and conventions they have used. The codes and conventions I had followed form the contents page above. These are very apparent. The most successful being that I have accurately followed how Kerrang have created their contents page, this being with specific reference to how they have laid it out. The font is consistent throughout just like in Kerrang's, and the images used show a variety of shot types. I have followed the grid lines used in the professional contents page, however I have developed the piece on the right slightly by keeping the column sizes consistent, whereas in the Kerrang contents they have an extra column with another close-up. I have followed the overall conventions used, even down to how the editor has given us their review of this week's magazine. The target audience that Kerrang targets is roughly the same target audience as mine. Therefore, I could pastiche this throughout my cover and double page spread. However, I wanted some diversity, therefore I used a local magazine and a mainstream popular magazine for my contents page, which is a local indie magazine, which is Toast, and a mainstream rock magazine, which is Kerrang. I've used Roland Barthes' theory of anchorage here as the images I have used have the page numbers beside them, this allowing the reader to know where to find a particular page. I have also followed the convention of adding an editor's note. This is done so the audience feel appreciated for getting the magazine, again representing that peer-to-peer audience interaction, or mode of address. In my double page spread I have followed Toast, however I have developed it slightly when using the codes and conventions of a magazine For example, I have still anchored the name of the artist successfully, but not identically to the Toast double-page spread. The size of the font was applicable also, as it allowed me to show the reader who the spread was about. This was seen by the writing I have edited and placed on the right hand side of her head. I have also followed the codes and conventions of a magazine well. This can be seen by the drop capitals on the paragraphs found in the columns. This is done to connote the start of a magazine and the beginning of another paragraph of new information. This is seen widely in popular magazines, therefore I deemed it appropriate to follow. The text fits within the grid lines is consistent throughout. This is the same as what can be seen on the Toast magazine double-page spread. The anchorage theory is clear, stated by Roland Barthes in relation to the text being on the artist. The house style stays the same throughout with specific reference to the colour scheme. I have also used a pull quote, which is a strong convention always featured in the magazine, and the language used throughout again is consistent with the peer-to-peer mode of address. My double-page spread is different from the Toast double-page spread, as mine has all the content on the double-page spread, whereas the Toast one continues for another 4 pages. Despite this, I have still managed to keep the vital codes and conventions.